Welcome onto the path of the Jaguar. Michael here with Freddy. We had a conversation that we were sitting at the table talking about. We knew we had to jump on to finish it. So we'll hit you with an ad-free podcast. Ad-free, no ads in this one. UnseenCove.com.
Right.
And mediafibonat@gmail.com if you want solo.
Yo, you can go listen to some music.
And you can listen to Barry Goose Records.
Barry Goose Records drop some dope shit.
Sonic Massage.
Yep, 2 projects.
Bedford.
Their first 2 projects.
Fredolo,
Last
Charlie
year,
Mayo.
2018.
Oh, wow. That was a week ago, too. I'm excited to
welcome
for your new music as well. So the conversation we were having, me and Freddy were talking about essentially what we need to weigh in our decisions to allow someone to edit the genes of our children. Right? If you go to a hospital and your baby's being born, or you guys are about to get pregnant, whatever it is, and the doctor comes up to you and says, "Hey, what we can do for you is we can prevent the chances of your child having any sort of disability, any sense of
Hey, listen, we could, what's the fucking term? Bio something.
Bioengineer.
But it's one word.
Bioengineer.
It's bioengineering.
Let's just go for
it.
All right,
let's go. Yeah. Fuck, it's gonna bother me now. But yeah, if you could just go ahead and get into the cells of whatever it is or whatever's going on in there and edit it, cancel things out, just change them out. Oh, you have diabetes in your family? We can get rid of that diabetes so your child won't have that. Would you like that to do this for you?
Yeah. And while we're in there, we could change the baby's eye color.
Yeah, why not?
How strong he is, how tall he is, how smart is he going to be? Do you want a 200 IQ baby?
I don't know if they could do that. Higher IQ, but...
Why not all the rest of it?
I don't think higher IQ necessarily means you're just... I understand. What I'm going to say is not going to sound good. Smart. Because there's people with lower IQs that just think differently and they're still, like...
You still have an advantage of having a higher IQ.
There's a higher correlation, yes.
Because I'm sure, for example, the people who have extremely high IQs, absolute geniuses, they struggle socially. And they struggle with other things.
They lack
IQ is all it's measuring is intelligence, not your wisdom and things like that. Because there are wise, dumb people, just because they've been around long enough. They pick up a few things, but they're just not.
But dumb at what?
That's the thing. There's several different intelligences. You have spatial intelligence, which is you would use with sports. There's there's a book intelligence. I don't know what the word is for that one, but literally IQ. There's artistic intelligence. I forgot how many there are.
Wow.
But either way, at the end of it, IQ measures one thing, and it's intelligence and your ability, I guess, to break down things and understand them and so on. But why wouldn't they be able to just go into your brain and just jack whatever makes that? You know what I mean? There's got to be something in your genes that says this is what the IQ of the kid's going to be, or here's the range of how big they're going to be, whatever.
Whatever, they could just go in there and fuck with it.
Eventually, they're going to be able to do all of that, right? I can't see why we would be able to do eye color, but then we just never figure out fucking
eyebrows.
Yeah, whatever it is. I'm sure they can do all.
So yeah, would you do it?
So
the thing would be
the big distinction that we were talking about earlier was the one thing that would really prevent me from doing it is if I just, for whatever reason, just got obsessed with the idea of remaining natural. I don't want any fucking chips in my brain. I don't want whatever. And I don't want to edit my kids. I don't want to edit my genes. I'm remaining human. If immortality comes up as an option, I say no. Just because my mind is set on this. That you know what I mean? There's almost a religious, dogmatic way of thinking where it's no, this is what I'm doing. That's what would prevent me from doing it. But if I saw a bunch of other people whose kids are 5 feet taller than my kids and are beating them on all the tests and they're getting into the better schools and getting the better jobs and they're not going to be able to compete, you almost have to do it.
Right, if that's the world you're in.
And that's probably going to be the world that we're in. Because people are going to continue to compete and get better, and people are going to rise, and there's ways to rise a lot quicker than just by waiting through time.
How the humans die.
That's how the humans are going to die. Yeah.
Potentially. We don't really know.
Good chance. It's a good chance. Like the nuclear bomb one there's a possibility for that one. There's a good chance definitely. Of that. And there's a good chance that we just become something else, and we're obsolete.
That's what I mean by
not even like
killing humans.
Exactly, because that's another way, right? Like AI killed, but like more likely, what I think is we're just gonna become the AI. Like maybe, so we're not gonna be actually murdered and brutally massacred, but we're gonna become obsolete. Like you're gonna want to be able to experience all those things. So that was the other thing that we were getting into is, a piece of hardware in your brain. Would you do that? Yeah, Freddy, you don't have to take out your phone to take a picture of something. You want to you want to call me? You have to think about it. You want to watch a movie, or you want to hear something, just lay back, close your eyes, and that shit just plays. You don't need to hold anything. That shit is 1080p or whatever would be the resolution at the time. But obviously a lot better.
Would I do it? I don't know, man. That's a really tough question. Mm-hmm. Because, and this is going to sound the way it sounds. Depends on what everybody else is doing around me.
Yeah.
Now that sounds like it's peer pressure-ish and, so on and so forth. You get the idea.
We have to keep up with the Joneses. You can't fall behind.
For survival as well. Survival. And then survival. It's funny how you could think of that as survival. Yeah, and on the flip side, it's...
You're killing yourself.
You're killing off that thing.
Yeah. You have to die.
Yeah, it depends on your values. But what are you valuing? Are you valuing the natural life more because of a certain thing? Or do you value the system that everybody's in with these computers in their brains and they're in this completely different money market? There's a lot of money over there. There's a completely different life. Like you could have all this
games. You can create art in there. You can be whatever you want. You can fly in there. You can jump around like fucking Spider-Man. Like you could do all that stuff. Like you would probably you can have the virtual reality and have it without it being attached. But you know what I mean. Like
we already do have virtual reality.
We do have virtual reality. But what I'm talking about specifically is the thing within you. Something that is part of you now. Something that you have to get surgically implanted. And you don't know, again, like you were talking earlier about fucking vaccines. Like imagine the power that you have if they put a little computer in your brain. Like, what can they learn off of you? You know what I mean? Are they measuring your fucking heartbeat and seeing what...
there could be a lot of goods, a lot of positives.
But I'm also saying like where they're getting a lot of information. So now like you're walking around and you see an ice cream cone and you notice your heartbeat starts going up. Oh, he likes ice cream. Let's hit him with a fucking ad. Let's do this. Boom, boom. Or they know if you're like into certain women or if you like certain cars, they'll be able to know about how long you look at it and shit like that. Like,
I think our phones do that.
Our phones do a little bit of that. I don't know. But
what I really mean by that is that I'm kind of
like what the things we click on. The things we click on and it shows us the ads for it.
I think they also track your eye movement. I don't know this, but I would just it wouldn't surprise me.
Maybe they'll do it every once in a while, like turn on people's cameras. Like the one thing that when it comes to these conspiracies, they're like, oh, they're watching us and they're doing this, and they can only keep track of so many people. And there's only so many minutes of conversations and so many texts.
Is there
for them? How many people?
Michael, we have terabytes and terabytes. Like we could create this, and they're smaller and smaller every day. Well, imagine what the military has. Like, if you could fit a terabyte.
That was something I wasn't even going to bring up. I'll bring that up too. Like,
sure.
Are they storing all this information? They're storing everybody's texts and videos and all this stuff. Where? Like that requires servers, space, electricity, power to what? To save text messages that we don't even think is important to us. Garbage.
That's true.
That's one aspect, and also like who's going through this all. There's millions and millions and maybe billions of hours of footage and
you have computers.
Words.
Computers are sorting through it.
That's where now we're talking about something new, because that is something that can do it. Because if you have an AI that can run, getting through fucking millions of hours of work in minutes. I'm like, oh yeah, of course, yeah. And that's one way that it could take over, because it's gonna be doing those things. It's gonna want to make our lives better, quote unquote. Like, oh, this guy's hungry, so let's get him food, and let's do that. Like, maybe it'll do that, and to the point where we like get nurtured to death, because now we're babies and we can't fucking manage on our own.
Right.
Like, all that shit is scary because of not even that, like, oh, killer robots, but because of the amount of change in a short amount of time. There's no way to be prepared for it. And no
people would just get wiped out. Like,
it's part of it. The wave comes in and it goes out.
If you saw, like, let's say, boom, explosion. You hear an explosion. You see it looks crazy, like a crazy explosion, you know? You see it through the window. You see this massive light, this thing going on, and then there's a panic. People are watching the news. There's these robots coming out, they're shooting people. What are you doing? What's your weapon of choice? To defend yourself against these
a squirt water
Terminators.
Spray water on their circuits. I don't know. You can't. This is a good question, because I haven't had that. You always get the zombie one. I've gotten the zombie one, and these are different weapons.
Terminator Apocalypse.
Because you can't. Axes are no good. Like, blunt weapons don't work. The things that will work on zombies don't really work on robots too much.
Right. But I feel like a melee weapon would help.
It would.
How else? You're not gonna shoot it. What are you gonna shoot it with? Unless, you
need infinite ammo. Yeah, it doesn't work.
Not infinite.
That's one of the things.
You really strong ammo.
But then you would need to swing that fucking axe really hard too. The gun's gonna be stronger than whatever thing you can swing.
Potentially.
The problem with guns and a robot apocalyptic
That's true.
scenario is you run out of ammo, right? But I don't know. I'm like, the only thing I can picture doesn't exist. Like something like an EMP gun. Probably does fucking exist. Now you think of it.
That would be dope.
Yeah,
that's a good
just
idea.
like short circuit when you shoot at it. That's we need to invent those. Did we not invent those already? Actually, I saw an article today. China recently let out one of its air bases, those big fucking things on water that launches airplanes. I think that's what
I got you.
Yeah, air bases.
The Navy boats.
Yeah, exactly. They have a railgun on it. What a railgun is, it shoots like a beam of electromagnetism.
Continue.
That exists. That's real. Essentially, they think they've been, because America's been working on it for like 10 years. China's probably for maybe the same time, a little bit longer. But they're a lot closer, apparently, according to the article. And
to the railgun?
To the railgun, this fucking thing that can shoot. I forgot how fast. It's faster than guns. It goes further than guns. And this shit is powerful. And it's electromagnetic, so it's gonna fuck up any machine that it comes across. So it's gonna fuck shit up. And they definitely have tested it already, because now they put it on the airbase. So now it's on there, and the naval airbase. I feel like I know I'm saying it wrong. So they put it on there, and now they just sent it out to the ocean so they can test it. So America's gonna be keeping a close eye on this.
That shit is terrifying.
Mm-hmm. But it's like, what are they gonna do? Fucking shoot those guns at buildings? No, they're shooting at other fucking ships.
America went to places and just imagine if there was a war in America.
We're all dead. Dead.
Yeah.
It doesn't even matter. If there's a war, if there's another world war, we're gone. There's no.
But let's say you're alive during it. I was gonna that's like going outside and there's a. That's what I mean. There's an apocalypse going on. What are you doing? It's an apocalypse. Terminators. World War III.
I guess it's not even about, I answered the question with a weapon, that's a weapon. But I think at that point I wouldn't even
or maybe
resist it so much. Maybe I try to run away.
You have a daughter.
Yeah, I'm gonna run away. Well, that little girl's dead too. That poor little girl. A bunch of other little kids already died with the first.
Wow.
With all the other explosions.
Yeah, I get you.
We're dying. I would try to resist it, of course, but it's I'm not fighting it. I'm not trying to stop it.
All right, you have a gun.
I have a gun, and I have a daughter.
With bullets in it.
I'm getting a car, and I'm going to the airport, and then I'm flying the fuck out of here.
Nah, you can't fly away. You're stuck here.
Then I'm dead.
No, you're not dead. You're alive.
How am I alive?
You're alive.
So what do I have to my...
You have everything that you have around you now. There's a problem.
There's a camera.
Chris and Freddy
microphones.
died.
Help me!
Chris and Freddy died.
Help me,
They couldn't make
everybody!
it.
There's been a robot.
Well, you know what? You don't know if Chris and Freddy are dead. You just can't get in contact with them. They're not responding.
But you telling me I can't leave the country?
Can't leave the country. I mean, you can, but you have to do it. You can't like go somewhere and pay to do this.
What would you do?
That's not what I asked you.
That's not. I'm not saying that's what you asked me. I'm asking you. What would you do?
I don't know.
No, how the fuck do you expect me to know?
What would I do? Let's see. What do I have? And do
Everything
I have a kid?
around
Do
you.
I have the daughter or you have the daughter?
You have a son.
How old?
14.
Okay, he can help. We could probably make it out. Just don't slow me down. Actually, he might be faster than me. Do I have a gun?
Yeah, you have a gun.
How many bullets? How many magazines do I have?
You got a whole backpack, or you're chilling. Yeah.
Oh, I'm chilling. I got bullets.
Yeah, you got it for years.
And what's going on is that there's Terminators outside.
Terminators. And nuclear bombs going off. Obviously not close enough because then you die.
All right.
You know.
Honestly, I would try and barricade myself in with exits.
Dude, you're dead. There's no
Well, I'm alive right now. What am I gonna do? I'm gonna go outside and go start fighting the fucking Terminators?
No,
They have heat-seeking eyes.
What I would do is I would
over.
turn on the TV. I'd maybe like listen to some music, watch a movie.
Nah, the TV could distract them. What if TV's like
TV's
the sound?
it's
You know,
just-
they're trying to hear things and
That's what we do. We
follow
we,
sound.
We drop our phones on the floor, and then they come by and they pick them up, and they get so distracted by the phone, and they just spend all their time on Facebook and
on Facebook.
and it just takes them over, just like what it's gonna do with us.
But like robots have to be dumb in something. Like let's say you put them in a net.
Yeah, like if you don't program how to get out of nets.
Right. And it's like, yeah, they have this gun, all this
Well,
shit, but they're just stuck in a net. And they're not really getting anywhere. They're trying to move.
Does that make a person dumb if they can't get out of a net? Because I might not be able to get out of a net. If I don't have a knife, how are you getting out of a net without a knife?
You have the same gun that the Terminators have.
You don't think a Terminator can shoot out of a net?
Yeah, they can. They can shoot out, but can they get out of the net? Let's say they were still like moving.
Wouldn't that be
shooting.
the most hilarious thing? That's like
That'd be
the thing
hilarious.
that saves
That's a
humanity?
cartoon.
Nets.
Don't steal that. I'm working on that, alright?
That'll be episode 17.
That's good.
When the robots. What's the show about? What characters is it following?
This guy just goes to work every day. But on his way to work, there's an adventure.
Okay.
But he has to make it to work. Every day he makes it to work. Right on time. He's running late. But every day on the way to work, something happens.
Yeah, there's a robot fucking rebellion, alien invasion, zombie apocalypse.
Makes it to work right on time every episode.
He has to be late at some point.
He's on time.
That's for season 7. It's for the season
Maybe
finale.
he's late once or twice, but they're like...
But then he time travels, goes back, and then he's not late.
Yep. The next episode.
This is a fucking... This
boom!
is a hit.
That's
This is a
good.
hit.
This is a hit.
We have to edit. We're editing this out so nobody steals this idea. Because this is money. Yeah, well, that's something I think about a lot too. Is like I really want to make cartoons.
Yeah, that'd be dope.
Like it's so hard for me to detach myself from that. Because what I try to do is
I don't know if I like the ideas of cartoons, but I don't want to be the animator.
Not the animator. No. I'm not trying to sit there. I mean,
I would love to work with a team.
Write a cartoon
that does that stuff, and we could collectively work together to get something done. That'd be dope.
Of course. Like you can't do it on your own. That would take too long. But like you
can do it on your own, but
you could. But this
you could use that time to make another cartoon.
Yeah.
With somebody else.
You're right. But yeah, you get your team of animators, and then a couple friends would be writers. Maybe get some professional writers in there too.
Right? Why not?
Write and direct.
Yeah.
But that's something that I always feel like I can't get away from. Because like one thing I've been trying to do is question the things that I like. Like why do I actually like those things? Do I like what is the reason? Like what is the purpose of this for me? What do I get out of this? Whatever. Especially with my life path, like what am I going to do in my life? There's a bunch of things that I've wanted to do because of I didn't know it like entirely, or it just came and fell.
You're interested in it.
Yeah, but like that's what I'm saying. It's the one thing where I'm always challenged. Like, maybe I don't actually want to write cartoons. Maybe I don't want to actually write and be creative. But it seems like that's the one I can't get away from. The other ones I can make sense out of, like, no, that was because of this.
What you can't get away from?
As for, like, what I would definitely want to spend my time doing.
Yo.
What's up, Chris? It's on the phone. So.
What do you want to spend your time doing?
I'm saying writing. Like, where I can see, like, maybe I don't want to actually finish this thing or do that thing, or maybe I don't need to be a black belt in jiu-jitsu. Maybe I don't need to, like, be a pilot. Like, I was doing that. Like, I know I don't want to do that now.
Right.
But, like, maybe I don't want to do all these different things.
Yeah, you could just go ahead and put your time into something else.
But my point is, when it comes to trying to push off being creative, that's the one where it doesn't feel right. It's like, oh, no.
Yeah, at least I don't feel that way. I mean, I do feel that way. I don't feel, I don't feel good if I don't create for a while. Like, I feel that. Yeah. It's a thing.
Yeah. Because it's like
that's because I see value in that.
Yeah. It's part of your personality trait, like the ENTP. Like, you like to be creative.
You're an ENTP, right?
Yeah, so's Rob. But, like, it's like innocent, and when you don't, it's like you're not feeding yourself something. You're not exercising. So you have this computer that's supposed to be doing this thing, and you're not doing it. Like, I can imagine, like, with all those personality types, they all have some sort of use to the tribe. Like, and it's good in a tribe to have some people who are creative, who can think outside the box.
Yeah.
Like,
that's why we're better as a team.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. Absolutely. But, like, now not feeding that definitely is gonna fuck you up.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
It's like people who, like, super organized shit. They're not organizing shit.
They're in chaos.
Yeah.
Literally. Yeah. These things are in our nature. But now, like, to tie back into that, like, if I were to put a computer in my brain, or I would have somebody fuck with my DNA, am I still Michael? Am I still me? Because now I went against my nature. Like, before, where I was saying, like, you know, I think about the things, like, I question the things that I like, and I question my nature. It's, like, kind of weird, because I'm probably trying to fuck with my nature.
You are.
But now, like, imagine that with
is
a
your
machine
nature.
in your head. My nature is to question my nature?
Yeah.
And go against it? My nature is to go against my nature.
Your nature's... Yeah, I think that's it.
It's a little paradoxical, but I can see it. Like, because there are things that can be paradoxical.
That's in you. You have that in you. That's why you do what you do.
That's pretty funny.
At the end of the day, bro, we're all walking contradictions anyways.
Yeah.
And we also change.
We're very complex. And we don't exist in a moment.
We don't. And that's why that's another reason I think that we should be more forgiving to people. Because people do change. Mm-hmm. You know, ultimately they still have...
Or that was just a moment for them.
Yeah, that was just a moment. Or let's say it's not a moment. Let's say it's a repetitive thing. Maybe that's a pattern. But this person has a lot of positive qualities as well. You know what I'm saying? Now, obviously, you know, pick and choose who you want to really have around you and be an influence in your life. But, like, people do and can change.
Yeah. And that's kind of like a shitty thing, because we all also are existing in these collection of moments where, like, we're up and down too, and we're, like, all crashing into each other, and, like, you might not match up. We're like,
you once thought one way and came off a certain way to that person. Years later, you're a different man, and
that sticks to you, because people are gonna hold their prejudices,
yeah,
like, the things that they remember you by, or, like, however they formulate. Because, again, we need to organize things in our brain. We need to know what we're actually dealing with. Who is this person? Okay, this is who this person is. Boom, 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 boom. That's it. And people are going to think things in the most simple manner possible. And certain people simpler than others. So they're not going to be able to, like, have any perspective on it. That's why it's like now I can, like, sweat the things that I do that I I wish I didn't say that. I don't sweat it as much. Because it's like, that was like such a tiny little moment, and people are going to forget about that easily. But also it's like, you don't even know what that person was thinking. You literally don't know what that person was thinking. You can think this person thought all this negative shit, but you might look at it later like, oh no, I put that there.
I put that there, or maybe they were being that way, and they don't feel that, people are wrong.
People are wrong, and then again, it doesn't matter. That person can forget about it.
Right. I feel like we have to get over being wrong, too. Nobody likes to be wrong. Yeah. Ever. No. Nobody likes being wrong. But we're all wrong at times. Nobody's ever right 100% of the time for their entire lifetime. Mm-hmm. Absolutely not. We're probably wrong most of the time.
Yeah. It just comes down to just remembering, I can be wrong sometimes. Am I wrong this time? Maybe. Maybe I'm wrong. There's like this little practice they're doing at certain schools where they have the kids argue their position. They're like, here's your argument. What side are you on? You're on this side? And they have to talk about all the good points of the side that they're on. And then they make them do like defending the opposite position and give it the strongest argument. It's I forgot what it calls, like a steel man argument. But they have kids doing that now. It's like, that's smart, because people aren't actually taught to do that. Who are thought to fucking double down? No, I'm right. Doesn't matter how much fucking logic you can throw at me. Doesn't matter. I contradicted myself. Doesn't matter. I'm just gonna change my point now. Now we're gonna argue about this because I'm winning this.
But if you're changing your point, you would have to agree to.
I don't know. I'm just
right.
Yeah. But
you were wrong.
There was this thought that I had.
If you change your thought.
The what?
If you change your thought, then, and your old opinion was wrong, then you should admit that you were wrong, and that's the reason that you changed your idea. Not you specifically.
No, I know what you're talking about. But yeah, I think people are, again, they're still in that they're still in competitive mode. It's not about the learning.
I think that's just in us. It's nature.
Yeah, you want to win. You should try to win. Yeah.
You should try to win.
But it depends on what you're trying to win, though. Yeah. You're trying to win something that by trying to win you lose it. Like, sounding like an idiot doesn't make you, just because you feel like you won the argument at the end of it, sound like an idiot means you lost. So you thought you won, but you actually lost. And so they do that to themselves, and it's. But of course, I think I definitely understand why people are competitive.
Right.
You have to be better. You want to be better. Competition is good. And I'm going to keep tying it back to this. Now, when people put things in their fucking brain, and they're going to compete with the regular person, like, what is the regular person going to do?
They have to, you know what it is? Look at me talking like I know things. They would have to coexist and just be different. I don't think that the non-bioengineered people should compete with.
But you will be.
The Titans.
Because there's only.
But it's different. It just depends on what you value. So let's say.
The Titans. I like that.
Alright, that's good. We'll keep it that way. That way. Let's say the humans valued something else, like nature more, and they lived a more peaceful, civilized life. Farming, these are important things. These are important jobs and things like that. And you do these things, and there's a better, happier community here. And then you have the Titan community where they're like, they're living longer, they're flying, they're getting these imaginary crypto points that you get. They get to get all these cool stuff.
Telekinesis, blowjobs.
All of that. Yeah. But I think it would be smart for the humans, and so they could coexist instead of being wiped out. Because if they join, then they're wiped out. Because there's no more humans anymore. If they join, now they're just Titans.
Yeah, you couldn't be part of that community.
Yeah. So then we're done. Yeah. So they would have to coexist and just do something else. Dominate your market. Listen, you're not going to be the Titans at being a Titan. You're not. So just be the best human and have that open. And people that want to follow humans will follow humans.
Like, let's say you were a human trying to live in a Titan city. Like, you're going to end up fucking a Titan. They're going to be prettier. They're going to be smarter. They're going to have probably more money.
Nah, to be in the Titan community, you have to be a Titan.
No, I'm saying, let's say it's like...
Oh, that's the Romeo and Juliet story.
What?
But...
The what story?
Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah, there you go. Like,
but
the competing... Yeah, because you...
One of them's Arnold Schwarzenegger.
I'd watch that. Yeah, their parents wouldn't want you. You're dating a natural.
You're killing
human?
yourself? You're killing us off? No.
No.
What are you doing? You're gonna kill. I put in so much work having sex with your mother to make you so you could carry on my genes, and now you're gonna go ahead and kill it?
Uh-huh. Even on their side too. If you're gonna mix bad genes and you're
you're gonna do.
Our kids might have fucking.
You're gonna get with a human.
Yeah, they have diseases.
They have cancer.
Yeah, they have cancer. Don't put that. I don't want my grandkid dying from cancer. That's the.
Nah, but they could just be a Titan. Humans are just looked upon as peasants in the Titan world.
They would.
They don't value.
You
have inferior parts.
That's what goes through my mind when it's like, where we might have to make that decision in our lifetime, or maybe our kids will make that decision. But pretty soon, somebody's going to be making a decision for their child, for themselves too. People are going to be more.
They already are. They already are.
People are already doing that. But now imagine that with. They're already doing it with kids too. You can
That's
change your kid's eye color now.
You can do that right now?
Yeah,
today.
You can do that. And
lies. You can do that right now? I can do that. If let's say I'm having a kid.
It's not. They don't edit it. What they do is they take out the eggs, and they look at what, because they can essentially read the DNA in it.
Oh, okay. We're picking and choosing
there's certain
egg.
things that they can pick out, so they can go and pick. Oh, this one has the blue eyes. This one has this. Oh, this one is damaged.
Would you do that?
Yeah, I would do that. See, that's easy.
That's natural,
it's still natural. There's some little procedure in the middle of it, but now I'm reducing the chances of whatever happened with the baby.
I like that. I think I might be down for that.
Yeah.
Computer shit.
Oh, no, but to go on to the fucking conspiracy theories, like imagine they know where you're at at all times. You put a piece of machine in your head.
Maybe that makes people go crazy. Like, yeah, it's all these boosts and things like that, but like,
there's gonna be glitches on their own.
There's glitches. There's more
also gonna be like
high rate of suicide because it's never gonna turn off. Constant information uploaded into your brain. The world's already loud. Yeah. Imagine computer information.
And it's loud now just with phones. Like your brain is busy all the time. Now imagine when there's an actual.
Doesn't
it
turn
might
off.
make it better because it's like.
Unless you could turn your brain, your thinking off.
You could take
you're a Titan.
Your brain. Oh, because they have more control over their body?
You're a Titan.
Yeah,
you could turn off your thinking.
Yeah. Like, here's one thing that I was thinking about the other day, which would be pretty cool. Again, same deal what I was saying before, where, like, you put something in your brain and you could, like, watch videos by just, like, closing your eyes and this and that. Like, I wouldn't mind having something that, like a display, like a heads-up display. You know those, like, things that, like, the pilots have and, like, Army dudes have where they, like, wear something and they can... It's kind of like on Master Chief in Halo. Like... You can see the inside of his helmet, and it'll be like there's a radar there, there's his health, and there's a map. Like having that you could turn off and on.
That would be dope.
Like you could just open up your calendar, like I'm going this day, and then you can like organize it, like delete that, add.
If we had like contacts like that, I would do that.
Contacts, but not something surgically.
Nah.
Something that you can remove.
Yeah, I don't want it to be fucking with who I am.
Yeah.
And let's say even
I agree with
let's
that.
say you can
like
even
that.
attach it like. I don't know. Like for example, there's this company that like you put in this like chip or whatever, this little thing, and it's for people that have diabetes. You put it in to your body, and you could see everything on it.
Yeah, that exists.
That exists already.
It's crazy, and there's only gonna be more and more things like that.
Would you do that? You
Like
have diabetes, and it's helpful.
Yeah,
you get to read.
I would have no choice at that point. Like I would have to do that. Right? Like
you think you would have to? You don't have to do it.
You'd want to be on top of that though.
Yeah, like, no, you don't want to die. That's the thing. Yeah, I'd probably do it. Just like, yo, listen, I'm gonna die. I could die faster if I don't do this. At least I can see what's going on.
Yeah, that's fine. Like,
But you don't know
even
what
with your
really
heart,
that.
like, you have people who can, like, they need to pay attention to their heartbeat. Like, you would do the same thing. I can track it, and it's easier to track. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. Like, that, they have to, like, prick blood out, and they have to test the blood. If it's something that you can just open your phone on.
There was a lady, a customer that I had, my old job. She had 3 machines in her body. That shit was crazy to me.
You know what they did?
I did think they were for her heart, or she had some type of surgery, like she was just. But she came from somewhere in Europe. I forgot where it was. She came over there. She came from there. She left her sister and her kids, whatever. Like, not her actual kids, her sister's kids, her family. But she was like well off over there, older lady. And she moved out here. Didn't speak any English, no nothing, and was just working. Did her thing over here, was trying to get her sister to come out here for a different life, blah, blah, blah. I think her sister made it. She brought her sister over with the kids, the 2 kids, and the sister dies like 10 days after she's here.
Damn.
Now she's left with 2 kids. So she's left with the kids. She has these machines in her. Well, no, she didn't have the machines in her body at the point. But she did everything. This is her story, by the way. I don't know. But
this lady was also crazy, by the way. For the people, I'm kidding.
She had 3 machines in her. I don't know.
They're crazy.
She's a Titan. Listen, I had this conversation with a Titan. But so yeah, then the kids got older and shit like that. And they went off on their own, and now she has like surgery and shit like that, and these kids are like nowhere to be around. And she's like, I'm not leaving them a dime type of thing.
Oh, okay, yeah. They abandoned her.
They abandoned her.
Yeah, it's tough, man. Like who takes care of these people?
I don't know what their relationship was, but they'd like.
Probably it sounds like her nieces and nephews.
I mean, what the relationship they had.
Oh, yeah, probably not a good one. Clearly.
Right, it's gonna be a bad one, but what, like, how bad? You know what I'm saying? Obviously that bad. I don't know how I got to that. Oh, because she's a Titan.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's a Titan. The lady's walking around with 3 machines in her body. That shit was crazy, but she was so sweet. She was such a nice old lady, but she was nice to me.
So robots can be good. Maybe that's how we'll know we're gonna survive, because we just need robots.
But she wasn't
like
full robot though. She only had 3.
No, I know.
She only had 3 pieces, but she had the money to do that. Right?
A lot of that stuff, like, of course, yeah, there's gotta be money. Unless your health insurance covers that, but like,
how much is that really covering? Like, you know, it's still a business. I don't care what business you are, you're still a business. You're still trying to get money. Hospitals are there trying to get money. That's why they say, "Oh, let's do this test on you. Let's do this." They're just throwing shit out there because if they make that test, it pays X amount of money.
Yeah. That's one thing where when they talk about universal healthcare, I'm like, you guys don't consider that people are just gonna get the dumbest shit, and doctors are gonna be able to take advantage of people, and take advantage of our tax money, not of people, because they're just gonna do. Well, they will do that too, like, you know. They do it now where they talk people up to surgery. They like convince people to do surgery when they could have done something a lot easier, and it's because they make more money off the surgery.
Where is there in Canada? Is it Canada that has universal healthcare?
That's one of the places. A lot of Europe does too. Australia.
I wonder how they make it work. That's important, man. That's forward thinking. I think so.
I just don't think it's gonna work out as great as we think.
Probably not, but I'd rather have free healthcare than not have free healthcare.
It's gonna. I would agree with that.
You have the phone, Chris?
Huh?
You have the phone?
Yeah.
Would you like to join?
Sure.
Talk about free healthcare?
Yeah. Who's gonna pay for it?
There we go.
You are free. Yeah,
It's
we
a
can talk
wonderful
about
idea.
Throw that on the floor.
I think it's an idea that a lot of people want.
What's up, bro? Welcome.
You know who's gonna pay for this? Everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Me and you.
And more and for stuff that
but at
nobody
least you
needs. Not that nobody needs.
Healthcare. I like that idea. All right, we were talking about earlier Titans. So what I mean by Titans is fucking alternate reality, bioengineering. Bioengineering. So
Yeah.
And then I was talking about this lady that has 3 machines in her body, keeping her alive.
Titans. Okay.
Titans. That's what we call them.
Okay.
Genetically
And then
engineered people that are going to be superior.
Okay.
No,
She's
I
like a
need
walking, talking person?
Good functioning.
Oh, okay,
Old
wow,
lady,
yeah.
yeah.
That's awesome.
Dope, man, nice. Ask a question. What's the question?
Okay.
Yeah, just talk about it. What do you think about it? Who's paying for it? Boom. Who's paying for it?
Yeah,
we all pay for it.
Healthcare is also.
I pay for
the
it.
thing
You
is,
pay
it's
for
a
it.
numbers. It's a numbers thing. Like healthcare is already. I don't know if it's our biggest cost, like as a category of the government and what they spend taxes on, but it's definitely one of the biggest, like one of the top three, and it's also the most rapidly increasing, because healthcare costs are they're through the roof right now. Pharmaceuticals are getting more and more expensive because they're getting better and better, and the way healthcare is so interesting because it's one of the only industries where the consumer isn't making choices based on price. They're making those choices based on need, right? So like most people when they go to a doctor's office to get a procedure, they aren't paying the cost of the procedure. Their insurance is just paying it. They might pay a copay, or they might have to pay towards a deductible, and then once they hit whatever it is, $5,000, whatever it is.
Yeah, but we're also making up these numbers of what these procedures are, because people don't need to be making.
What do you mean?
It's a made-up number.
What's a made-up number? Well, what I'm saying is it's one of the only industries
Depends on the equipment,
there are externalities. They call it externalities, where it's like where the market itself in like if you just have a pure market unregulated, it cannot it essentially cannot like make up the difference for like these externalities, right? Because there's always going to be someone who gets cancer and just can't afford the treatment. They just can't afford it.
Yeah.
That's it. So are we going to let those people die? No. I guess as the way it works now is people get treatment if they really need it, and then
That's
they
bullshit.
have to.
They are getting treatment, but we're not getting real treatment. People that got money can get real treatment.
Yeah, but that's always going to exist. People
Yeah.
with more money are going to get. That's just
Right.
that's
Because those things, the reason why they're better is because they cost
Yeah,
more
that's
money.
the reason you want to make money.
So let's make free healthcare. Everybody can get that shit.
Yeah, but that's
But then
where does that money come from?
We can't do $100,000
The thing is,
surgery for everybody.
I don't know, because none of us know where the money really goes budget wise. But let's say, for example, obviously different procedures are going to cost different amounts of money. Let's say I got to get an X-ray. That means we need an X-ray machine. Okay, so there has to be a cost to that, and whatever that costs to run that machine
And
it's
maintain it. And,
right, all of that.
And
That-
for the
Yeah, but also we'll get a new one. Like these are
Right, but we're talking mad time and many people you could serve with one X-ray machine. Point is, let's say we didn't pay so much per procedure because that's a made-up number of whatever they say it costs. We could put whatever it actually costs.
Yeah,
and
but
then-
it's not a made up number. That's the thing. You're
It is
just
a made-up
assuming
number.
that you're assuming that the hospital just makes up this number, which they do to an extent. There was a whole Time magazine article I read like 5 years ago that talked about like the cost of healthcare and what it goes into the cost of a pill, and how people who don't have insurance, they end up paying these extraordinary costs that don't even make sense. Like they'll pay like $20 for a glove that was used in the procedure, even though you can get that glove costs less than a cent for the hospital at the price that they get it, because they get the box for $1.
I'm saying they can keep it at the price that they get it, whatever it costs.
Sure.
Them. Now the money that we use for our taxes, that's mad money if you get mad people. Pay the fucking doctors that. Doctors are still making mad money.
It's just not that simple.
It's not that
Like
simple.
when you talk, it's just not that simple.
Of course it's
because
not.
you have to
That's
get
why I
laws
said we don't have
passed.
a budget.
You have to get laws passed. The way they tried to do it with Obamacare is they just tried to expand Medicare, right? Medicare.
Yeah,
You aid,
sounds about right.
No, Medicaid. Because Medicare, you care for the elderly, you aid the poor. So, yeah, that's how you remember it. So I don't know if it's a trick, but they tried to expand Medicaid, which is for poor people. Yeah, whichever one it is, and people who they essentially said that if you make less than this amount of money, you can get not Obamacare, but you can get a plan on the exchange that essentially is a Medicare plan or a Medicaid plan, and then the state pays for that. And then the federal government funds the state to a certain extent for how many Medicaid plans they expand into, right? And that's how those 40 million people who were uninsured got insurance. But where is that money coming from? That's a massive expansion of the expense that we put into healthcare. The way they got some of that money back was they cut down on a lot of fraud from Medicaid, Medicare. They cut back on the reimbursement that pharmacies are getting. Pharmacies are getting slashed. They just don't really make money off that, as much profit as they used to. All providers are getting slashed, and that's kind of where a lot of the savings is coming from, that then allows them to expand Medicare. But the problem is, if you want healthcare for all, how are we going to do it? Are we going to do it where people who can't currently get it will just get a Medicaid plan? Because we're already.
I don't think they should get a Medicaid plan. I think everybody should
You just
have
show up to
equal
the
rights
doctor.
to the same type of healthcare.
But that you just can't do that because at some point there's
People
gonna
are doing it.
there's
People
gonna
can't do it.
Who's doing it? Who's doing it at the level that
I don't know. What's Canada doing?
Canada has what? How many people live in Canada?
I look it
It
up.
doesn't matter. They're doing it.
Yeah, they're doing, but they
If they are,
I got
I don't
it.
know anything about it.
look up how many people. There.
Yeah.
The thing is, you're talking about rehauling a system that they've tried to rehaul every 20 years, and it doesn't work out. Like our government just isn't able to figure this out. I mean, we're not able to pass simple
Bullshit.
shit.
What do you mean they're not able to figure this shit out? They're able to figure this shit out.
You don't understand how complex healthcare is.
I'm sure I don't. And I agree
Yeah,
with
we
you.
we
Okay?
have 10 times as many people than you do. They're 36 million. We're 325
Yeah,
million.
and the problem is there's a
Do you
like, when
think
you shock
if
the
we really
system,
wanted to, that we could come up with a solution? Yes or no?
It's not gonna be a perfect solution, most likely.
That's fine.
But I don't think it's hey, let's just let the hospitals take care of everything. Because that's what it sounds like to me is the doctors and the people who are running the hospitals just get all the power. Because now they're going to be the ones that get to essentially charge whatever they want to the U.S. government. Hey, this
Also,
is what this
who
costs.
does-
remove that.
Yeah, but how do you remove it? That's the thing.
We-
It's,
we-
it's
we
not
have-
about theory. It's about execution. So if you say, okay, everyone gets free healthcare.
Just sounds good.
If
I agree.
But if you say everyone gets free healthcare, who decides whether you get a certain procedure or not? You know what I'm saying? Who decides whether you
I
get?
do or my family.
But you aren't even the one paying for it. So now suddenly the person so this already exists in healthcare,
Yeah.
where you don't choose. People don't really use cost to decide.
Paying for what? What am I paying for?
The pills, the procedures, the time at the hospital.
It doesn't
the
cost
stays.
as much as they charge people.
But it still costs money.
But it does because
Still
you have
costs
Of course it
money.
does.
But
and
it
there
does,
should be
Freddy.
there should be
Hospitals are one of the most expensive places to get healthcare.
100% of business.
No, it's just that setting, that acute care set, like that setting where you're going into a place that's highly specialized, has all these highly specialized technologies and
people.
doctors,
Yeah, but they
and you
also
have to
make-
stay, they have beds. Like, it costs them a ton of money.
Of course
it just
it does.
costs a ton of money to run.
course it does.
For every bed in
They
a
also
hospital.
make mad money.
I don't. What does that mean? Of course, there's money flowing through the hospital. You're saying that the hospitals should just make less profit. You know, most hospitals are not for profit. You know that?
I didn't.
Most hospitals.
Most hospital systems are not for profit. You know,
Okay,
let me
well,
not say
hold
most.
on. As a matter of fact,
A great
not-for-profit-
percentage of hospitals.
Not for
are
profit doesn't mean that you're not making money. You're just
No,
working.
it doesn't.
Yeah, it
just
doesn't,
means
but-
all
Get outta here with that.
And
but
business-
you don't. Do you know what it means?
I don't.
Okay, so what not-for-profit means is that you cannot. It just changes what you could do with your profits. So the profits all have to go back into the business. They can't be paid out to shareholders. What that essentially means is you can't get dividends from the business. So, as like let's say you're the owner of a not-for-profit, you can't get as rich as easily because you can't just flip the company and make a ton of money off of it. It's a not-for-profit. All the money has to stay within the company.
Yeah, but
All
that doesn't necessarily mean that you're not making.
But
a
the
ton of
company-
money.
Because you have to pay
But
people.
they
People are
understand-
making money, but it's still.
That's
It's
what I'm
just-
saying. It's still a business. It's still all about money.
Of course, it's
Not
still a
for
business,
profit.
but that's how the business-
Because they can't
Not-for-profit
continue if they don't
Fred,
have
this is
money
the
though.
thing. You can't
Because the hospital
you can't
gets shut
just go-
down if
you
it
can't
doesn't
just
make
tell the
enough.
hospital, oh, you guys aren't making profits anymore. You just got to pay for whatever comes in here because we're doing free healthcare now. Like, who's gonna want to open hospitals? Who's gonna want to make them better? Who's gonna be?
There should be a standard of living. That should be automatic.
But then who
Should be,
decides that?
should be.
Who decides that?
Who decides
That's
whether or not?
manpower.
Who
We the
decides?
people.
Who decides whether or not your loved one gets the $20,000 procedure or the $10,000 procedure to try and save their life?
You or the family.
But
No.
you're always gonna pick the highest. Why wouldn't you? You have no cost in it. It's no cost to you. You're always gonna
No,
pick
there
the
is a
highest.
cost.
What's
It's in
the
your
cost?
taxes.
Exactly.
What you're saying? So if you get a certain amount,
We pay for something. Let's say we pay for taxes, right?
Yeah.
That's the service, taxes. And in this taxes package, you get all of this shit. And
Okay.
healthcare happens to be one of them.
But now you're gonna
but
get
you're not
$20,000.
getting. Are you saying that the person's gonna pay more taxes if they get a certain procedure?
No.
So then they don't see the cost. So it
They
costs
do
you-
see the cost.
who?
But it's just
The
not.
system sees the cost.
Yeah. If
Yeah,
we all
exactly.
contribute
That's
to
the
system-
problem, though. That's the problem.
So
If
Freddie-
just the system sees the cost, it's not a part. It's listen. How many people do you know that already take advantage of the system? Just don't even answer the question.
Of course.
Just flip through your head.
Of
Now
course.
imagine a healthcare
different
system
system,
where
though.
people are already hypochondriacs. They already go to the hospital all the time for bullshit. Imagine if you could just go to the hospital. You know what? I want a new organ. I want a new liver.
Yeah, I want an X-ray.
And that's a crazy
Nah, nah,
example.
there has to be
That's
a
a
need.
crazy example. But the
There has
problem
to
with
be
the
a
government,
need.
the
Come on.
problem with the
You're
government.
not walking in and asking for a living.
Yeah,
They'll tell you, you
obviously,
need a liver.
obviously.
You want to get this liver?
Obviously.
Yeah, we got
But I broke my hand years ago, and I decided not to get the surgery. One, because it was going to be expensive, and two, because the doctor said, he'll fine, you won't need it, blah, blah, blah. I could have decided to still get that surgery. Some people, and I actually kind of think I should have gotten the surgery, because now it's like a little bent and looks, I got arthritis in it. But I decided not to do that, because I had to pay for it. If I didn't have to pay for it, I would have just gotten the surgery. How many times is that happening over the course of 330 million people? How many times is someone like? What are you going to cover and what are you not going to cover?
What's the
are you
margins
going to cover? Are you
profit that they're making? Like we could.
So
It
here's
doesn't
one.
matter.
Here's
There's a
one
number
little.
of-
Doesn't matter.
No,
There's
because-
a margin of
because there's
profit
a-
that we could play with that money and put it elsewhere. Let's say that we paid the cost.
But
that
there's
you paid
more
for
service.
Freddie, let me put it in perspective
They're not
for
making
you.
money off the service.
Damn,
if
wanna
the,
talk?
like that doesn't.
My mic off?
Yeah, see, please.
One thing to put in
I'm
perspective.
playing devil's advocate here. I know it's gonna be very difficult.
Corporations.
For the
like,
sake of
I don't think you
the
understand
podcast.
it, though.
what do you think?
Do you?
What do you think percentage-wise a corporation makes? Percentage-wise of the money that they have in the company. Think they make 100% profit, 50% profit?
Nah, I wouldn't say 100% profit. That's mad high of a number.
So give me I could just tell you, but if you want to guess, it's more fun.
Okay, I'll guess. Let's say they make 15% profit, or 10, or 6, whatever.
Yeah, around there, between like 6 and 10. So now imagine how little, like, because when you say like, oh, they're making all this money and they could just put it back, like, there's not that much on top of that. Like, a lot of that money has to stay within the business to keep it going. If they don't make that profit, they probably won't be able to get the new things, and be able to grow. Things
But
like
it's
that.
a
So you gotta keep
business.
that in
Let's
mind.
say we put
Of
that
course,
money
they can
back
make
into
less money.
running it. Let's
They
say
can charge
let's-
less for pills
let's say
and
they
fucking
make
Band-Aids.
3% profit.
It
Or
is correct.
4% profit, and they use that other 2 to go back into just taking care of fucking people. This shit shouldn't be a fucking business.
Yeah, but you're looking at it from the perspective that the hospital is just gonna say, oh, we like. There has to be a way to manage that cost. So like the way that Obamacare tried, or one
I'm
of the
not
ways
saying-
that Obamacare tried to do it was through ACOs, accountable care organizations. So they essentially said, all right, this hospital system most hospitals are part of like a system now. It's not just like a standalone hospital. The hospitals generally own the nursing home nearby and the oncology practice and the different whatever. So they said, all right, let's say Stony Brook, you are responsible for the 10,000 patients in this area, and you're going to get a certain amount of money for those patients, for those Medicare patients, or Medicaid patients. We'll just say Medicare going forward. For those Medicare patients, and now you're responsible for taking care of those patients with the allotted money. Any savings that like if you spend less than that allotted amount, you keep that savings. Anything over that kind of counts against you going forward, right? Because there are penalties for them to be spending over that amount, right?
Gotcha.
They also get benefits for what the government or what the committees decide is like good healthcare. So like getting someone in and out of the hospital quicker, whatever. They have certain metrics. So in theory, that's how it's supposed to work. But it was never a mandate for there to be accountable care organizations. And at the end of the day, it's always going to come down to the government stepping in and deciding what treatments people are getting, because that's the only way that they can manage costs, right? So if they say, like, here's one example. So let's go back to like a broken arm. You get a broken arm. They say, okay, for a broken arm, you're allowed to spend $10,000.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever you do with that $10,000 to fix that broken arm, cool. If you spend less and you get a good outcome, great, perfect. If you spend the right amount or the whatever that allotted amount and you get a better outcome, cool. But you're managing the allotted money for a broken arm and going from there, right? But who decides that amount? It's going to be different in different states. It's going to cost hospitals different amounts based on
The
people that they have
person and
there.
the doctors. Well, no, it should be the
But
person and the
person's
family.
not, but you're going to a
Not
system.
everybody needs the
But you're saying-
most
but going-
expensive arm surgery.
Of course.
You're saying the government
doctor
it
writes-
has all the money now, though.
But
You're saying
go-
you gave all the money to the government, so the government can give the money to the people to get their
No,
surgeries.
the people
no,
still
they
pay.
do. Exactly.
How do the people? Where do the people?
Where's
pay?
that money
You're saying
coming
it's free
from?
healthcare.
That's taxes. It goes into your taxes. Now you're giving that
should
to
be
the
in your
government.
taxes. You should pay for this shit.
That's what I'm saying. So that
Yeah,
goes
I'm
to
not
the
saying they're
government.
not getting money, but there's a difference. There should be like basic human rights, and healthcare should be one of them. And we
But
haven't
now
money to fucking do
who's
it.
deciding
there's
what
just to
treatments
manage-
people get
yeah.
and things like that. So like one example is if somebody out there wants freaking witchcraft surgeries, whatever.
That's different.
But hold on.
That's a want.
Who
That's
decides?
how about-
who decides? No, we're not putting government money into that.
There
'Cause they
should
can
be a
do that.
need.
How
There
about
should be an
chiropractors?
actual
How about
need.
chiropractors?
Chiropractors.
There should be an
that's
actual
what
need.
Okay, but who decides what the need is?
The doctor.
But doctors don't
Okay,
think
what doctor?
chiropractic
What
is.
doctor?
Or the
Because technically chiropractors are doctors, right?
Yeah.
Well, I guess yes, the doctors, but there has to be some sort of proof.
But who decides?
Yeah, so who decides what the
who
proof
proves it? Who goes? Boom! You are
tough.
actual. That's my point. That's
I
my
would
issue
say.
with these
I would
things.
say
It's
at
corruption.
that point, yes, it's good. That's it.
The more power you
There's
give
always
people, the
gonna be-
more
What if you believe
corruption.
in, what if you believe in like religious healing
Let's
Yeah.
or
remove.
acupuncture
Nah,
for
they could open up their own
or
shit.
alternative?
I'm
Why
talking
not
about
do that with
sh-
everything? Because
Nah.
you can say the same thing with hospitals
What-
where people would like say to hospitals, oh, they're doing the wrong thing. They're giving people fucking chemicals instead of doing blah blah
That's
blah.
what
blah,
insurance companies essentially do now. They
What?
say to hospitals, they tell like certain providers, all right, this is the treatment that we cover for this disease. If you go outside of it, we won't cover it.
Power, corruption, easily corruptible.
It's because the power's in there. They're the ones paying for it.
Yeah,
Yeah, they can do whatever they want. They're business.
Yeah.
but,
Yeah,
that you should be more worried about that stuff. Like,
Yeah, but you're
that's-
also choosing that.
They also have
people are
more
those
power.
people are
People,
stealing
you
money
should be
from
more worried
everybody.
about your choices.
You don't always have a choice of which providers which insurance companies
that's
to get. Because the way that our country works is most people get insurance through their job.
Mm-hmm.
You don't choose what health
Right,
insurance
that's
your
true.
job carries. You could choose between different packages. Like one of the things they do now is like the HSAs, those health savings accounts, where you essentially decide, based on who you are, the risks you want to take, the amount of kids that you have, how many how many doctor's visits you tend to have, whatever it is. You essentially get more management of your healthcare, and you decide, okay, I'm gonna set aside this amount of money every paycheck, so that during the year I'll have about this amount of money to pay for my different procedures that might be coming up, or this amount set aside for any emergencies, and then you keep that money over years and years. So whatever money you don't use this year, it rolls into the next year, and you essentially keep a health savings account for yourself, and then you get more control over. Well,
Finish.
you just get more control over. You have to think about your costs. Whereas when you just go, what is it called? There's HSA, and then there's the starts with a P. Whatever. There's the plan where you essentially just get covered for everything, and then you just pay copays, right? And then maybe there's a deductible of like $2,000. So like once you spend $2,000 for certain things, then everything's like free after that. But with that's how I always had it in my parents, and I never thought about cost. Now I do the HSA because it's cheaper. I don't have to pay as much of a premium up front.
Mm-hmm.
I just put aside money into an account, and you get to keep that account. Like this doesn't go away if you don't use it. Like it's your health savings account, but it's also just a regular savings account. So like going that way is interesting because now if you're a parent, you got 2 kids, and you have to like really manage your healthcare and think about what you're gonna do. And ultimately, if you have a certain deductible, it's higher. But if if you get hit with some sort of devastation, that okay, in a given year I only have to pay up to $8,000, and then after that it's covered. So I need to make sure my health savings account or my overall savings accounts have $8,000 in it. So if anything bad happens, I can pay that. But those sort of things, I think what we need in healthcare is more of that sort of stuff, where you're actually looking at your healthcare costs. So the consumer needs more power, more choice to move between doctors, to move between hospitals, to get different treatments. And then also, they need to do shit about pharmaceutical costs because it's...
Back to who should choose it, I think that there should be proof. I don't think people should just be able to walk into a hospital.
Yeah, but that's what it is now.
And just choose whatever the fuck they want to get. No. There has to be an actual need for it. There has to be some sort of, some sort of evidence. Or at least...
Like who
We're
provides
going back
it?
to
Who
the same
checks
thing.
it?
Because
Yeah.
evidence means you're trying to prove something to someone. Who is that someone?
Yeah.
Is it the government? That's fine. But I'm
know.
not of
Whoever
the
the
belief
doc-
that
yeah.
we should be giving more power to the government. Like this
Yeah.
is already the biggest expense.
Yeah.
They need
That's
to
like
find
30%
they need to
or
find ways to.
1/6.
I don't know what the answer is.
1 or
'Cause it's
2.
the most complex system. Obamacare was 2,800 pages. No one's read it in its entirety. Or at least no one that talks. I mean, how many people read the 2,800 pages? Like, truthfully, and understood it. It's all in legal terms. It's all in it's a law. It's a set of laws.
I feel like that's what's happening in the government right now, where it's just more and more pages of all these rules, and nobody even knows them all, and they're just all these like band-aids trying to fix this thing. Where it's just like leave it alone. It was fine.
Yeah, you can't really
To a
leave it
certain
alone, but it's like
Another question.
Well,
it's just a
we're-
predicament, man.
but
They've
like-
been trying to fix healthcare for years in this country.
How is Canada able to do it and we're not? Okay, they have less people. Okay.
Part of it.
One, they
He's
have
in
less
it, man.
people.
And it might not
They
actually
also,
be better.
They also
But check
may
it
not
out.
have the same
Might not
outcomes.
actually be better.
People. I mean, this is what
Yeah,
they
we don't
say.
know.
I don't know what the facts are, but people come to this country to get treated for their deadly diseases. They don't go. No one's fleeing to Canada to go get their cancer treatment. Because you can get treated here, you're just gonna go dead. Like it was like 4 years ago, no, 6 years ago. They said 62% of bankruptcies were healthcare related.
Wow.
That's terrible. That's terrible. And I think in a lot of ways, there
I
are
see a
things-
lot of ongoing medical expenses. Like that's
he-
part. Like
Here's a darker question. Should we all be responsible for people's terrible decisions? So now you have somebody who's in their 60s dying from lung cancer. Why? Because they were smoking cigarettes for the last 40 years. Like, are you responsible now to take money out of your pocket to save this guy?
Nah.
When you your whole life, you're like, I'm not going
There
to
should
smoke
be-
cigarettes
so there
because
should be
I want to be
stipulations.
healthy and all the things. Like, you did all these things to be who you are. There's people who eat fucking cheeseburgers every day and shit like that. Like,
Yeah.
they're
If you
killing
go-
themselves.
Well, there are-
and you
If,
shouldn't be
if you're having an
responsible.
issue and you go to the hospital, right,
Mhm.
and the doctor tells you, "Hey, listen, we have tangible evidence that what you're doing here, this is causing the problem. So stop that." Now, if you don't stop that, we're not going to continue to give you this universal health
More power.
Yeah. So then what? So now
because we're willing to take care of you. But if you're not willing to take care of yourself, then why are we going to be willing to take care of you?
yeah.
That-
But what else
go
falls
ahead
into
and do
that bucket? So like you could do it with cigarettes, right?
All right,
But like,
what else?
how about if they start doing it with like vapes? How do you quantify the difference between them? Like you just get it. It gets too
in your
involved.
bank account
You know what they do now though? Like
statement.
the insurance company.
Maybe there should be treatment, like some sort of willingly. The client needs to sign up and want to willingly try to, like a rehab for cigarettes, right?
There's
you
a
think of
Cigna does this
Yeah, it's
thing.
in there.
where
It's
Yeah.
all in the healthcare package.
It's a lot of
Cigna
stuff,
does this
man.
thing.
Yeah, but how much shit do we have now that they're making
I know.
money off of?
The way my mind always tries to is like looking at it now is just like how can we make less fucking like whatever they're doing, because I feel like that's one
I
of
want
the
the
issues.
government to do less and less,
Yeah.
just in general. It's just too big, dude. Yeah, I work for a company where I see how much they send to community-based organizations that no one really knows what they're doing. Just a ton of money.
Shouldn't be
millions of
giving the
dollars.
government all the money.
There's to go back to the cigarette thing though. There's like insurance companies that they charge you a fee per month or per paycheck if you smoke cigarettes.
There you go.
If you're a smoker, so it's like I think with our company it's $25 or $35 per paycheck
Wow.
that you have to pay, and it's like
On top of the cigarette costs.
yeah. So like they either sneak it in with like a question in like the human resources app. They just go like, "Do you smoke?" And you just go like, "Oh yeah," and then boom, it stays there. Or I think your doctor, they hear your lungs, they're just like, "Yeah, this dude smokes cigarettes." Which I think is good.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
You're
More
costing everyone
reliability.
money.
You should.
I think
I think
everybody
insurance
wants
is a scam
that.
in general
I think,
too, though.
Insurance is.
I think everybody wants that. Everybody wants other people to be taken care of. I don't want someone to not to like die on the street because
Yeah,
they
of
don't
course.
get health care. I don't want someone to go bankrupt because, you know, their husband got a fatal disease and they tried to save their life. Like that's obviously wrong, right? But I just know that it's if you just give free healthcare to everyone, people are gonna take advantage.
Mm-hmm.
And then
course
I gotta pay for what people are taking advantage of. And I think we are already paying tremendous amounts of taxes.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, what if we were paying the same that we were paying, but we just.
Because
really
imagine
wanted
we
to-
got
it's
more
like,
money
you
each
gotta
check,
find you gotta
Freddy.
find the money from other places.
Imagine
you know?
that.
Right.
Imagine
I think
every
we
day.
should,
location.
and I think it should be a priority to make sure everyone who needs healthcare gets healthcare. But then, like you said, you pay for the the poor decisions of other people. So if you're a 28-year-old kid or 32, whatever it is, if I decide not to get insurance, right, which was before, I don't know if that still exists, the individual mandate where you have to get health insurance coverage, and if you don't, there's like a $600 fine at the end of the year that's added onto your taxes.
Yes.
But ultimately that's less than what you would ever pay for healthcare. So it's
Yeah,
not
you don't
that
have-
much of a fine. Like
It is, but
you're-
at
now
that
you're
point,
taking
you
money
might as
out
well
of
get healthcare for some more money.
and most people would
They're
decide
charging
that.
me? They're
Yeah.
charging me because I don't have something?
Yeah,
People
which
probably
is
think
they
they're gonna
talk
get away
about the Supreme Court said it was constitutional, but
But why do we have to have healthcare?
well, that
That's-
was the idea because
Because
if
now
you're
that's the
28
thing
and
with
you decide
universal
not to
healthcare,
have
Freddy. By
healthcare-
the way, universal healthcare means you have to have healthcare.
Yeah, You're already paying for it, no matter
You
what.
have to have it.
Right now, you don't
It's
have to
coming
have
out of
health
your money.
insurance.
So remember that's our issue with it, is because you're gonna pay for it. Someone has to pay for it. You're paying for it. Everybody else is paying for it.
Alright, I guess what I mean by it.
Oh, I didn't know it was affecting my
we're
money.
gonna-
Oh, I guess that's well.
We'll continue, but there should be like, listen, we have a system, like the system we have now, and within if you're a functioning person in this society, in this system, you get this type of universal healthcare, meaning that it's not necessarily about money.
What if
You
you're
can get-
what if you're
you-
a criminal? Like if you're a convicted felon or whatever it is, you get out of jail after 7
Now
years.
you lost your rights. It's just like you
So
go to
now
already
that
have it hard
person
enough
doesn't
too,
get
though.
health care.
Because they can't even get another job.
I think they should have some type of healthcare, but it depends on what they do. If they're criminals, if
Now
they're
we're gonna have tiers of health care.
When people can just leave it alone. And then
yeah,
people can just get health
we're gonna have
insurance
tiers
on
of
their own.
healthcare.
Nah, just get your own health care.
You see, this is a very complicated system.
This
That's
is
the problem.
complicated.
And
But yes,
these are only the questions
you
that we're thinking
are
of here on this
a
couch.
danger to society. You shouldn't have premium healthcare that everybody in this working society pays for. And
Yeah.
But now we're gonna let that person die. Well, we're gonna let that person
He
die.
he was
At the
killing
very least,
people or
you're-
raping people.
he was gonna die
You're a
anyways.
criminal.
At the very least, though, you give. It's just more. These are more and
Basic.
more
You get
questions.
basic.
These are more and more questions that the government gets to answer. And who's the government? Some dude has been working. Like there's just like any other job. There's going to be people.
Yeah, it's
there
true.
that are
It gives them more
incompetent.
power. It gives them more power.
Think about all the people. Think about all the people you've worked with in the past, and now give them autonomy or authority over other humans in the country. They get to make decisions from a room in Cincinnati that dictate the healthcare of a person in Florida.
I would have to see what type of people they are.
You won't.
can't.
You just that's it. You're never gonna see those type of people. It's because
300 million people.
how many
in
people work in
America.
healthcare already? It's millions, tens of millions. It's like
That
the biggest
also
industry.
jacks the prices up because now you have to have the accountant and you
Yeah.
have to have the janitor in the building. You have to have people working in the insurance company, people who are sitting there dictating who can get health insurance. Oh, you're in jail. We gotta update that. You're in jail now. You don't get it anymore. You're in this tier. That just adds more and more people.
Do you
Adds
know-
more and more money to it. Leave it alone.
Do you
Let
know a lot of
do it
people
on their
who
own.
need healthcare and aren't able to they need a certain treatment and aren't able to get it and are like dying because of it? I personally don't know. I mean, it's anecdotal, but like I don't really know a lot of people that are struggling to get healthcare they can't afford. And from what I hear, let's say you have like a rare condition and you have no health insurance and you're dead broke, you can actually apply to the pharmaceutical companies because they make so much fucking money, and they give away a certain percentage of like a certain number of treatments every year to people in need. So they have like, let's say 1,000, whatever it is, 100 a year for like super expensive ones, where they'll just give them away to the people that need them, that can't afford them. And then there's organizations you can apply to get like almost like a scholarship for your healthcare.
See, stuff like that, I get. Like people
And
who just
ultimately-
want to hand out money on their own, better. Don't make the decision for everybody. Not everybody wants to be magnanimous.
I don't know what that word means.
I think it means generous. It might mean also good in another way, but it felt right.
I like it.
I like it too, but I just don't think it works. I think it's a fantasy.
I don't think they figured it out. And I don't think it's. I think
think
it's
it's possible.
too.
I don't think they figured it out,
I
but
think the
it's
first thing they need to do is learn how to reduce costs of healthcare. At least reduce the increase in the cost, the percentage.
Yo, these people shouldn't be making $300,000
Cool.
a year. Doctors.
Why not?
They went to school for
Don't you want the
manual.
best? Don't you want someone that's going to dedicate 8 years of their life
Absolutely,
to
I do.
find out?
I don't think it takes
Yeah,
$300,000.
but that's that.
Yeah,
it
but
takes
how
you
do
to
they
get
but
that.
think about what they have to pay to get that.
People
The amount of years that they're
I
not
also
working.
don't think that you should have to pay all this ridiculous amount of money to get an
But
education.
you do, because you have to be at a hospital and someone has to pay for your time at that hospital
I
to train
understand.
there. You have
But-
to pay for the books. You
My
have to pay
man,
for
you're telling me
teachers.
right now that college isn't a fucking business.
They're overpriced.
Of course
Absolutely.
it's a business.
But
And
it's
of
going
course
to cost money.
overpriced. You know
That's
part of the
fine,
you
but
know
the
part of the
money
reason
that
it's
they make
overpriced.
can help sustain itself, plus they'll have profits to could grow and put into research to get better. So profits plus a little more. I'm saying, pay for everything plus the profits to help grow it continuously. And people shouldn't have to pay that much money, especially for something like healthcare. If somebody wants to go ahead and be a doctor, I don't want to do that. Thank you, every doctor out there going to school for 10 years to do that, because I don't want to
Yeah.
do that. So thank you for doing that. And you should be compensated well.
Of course.
You should be compensated more than others. But at the same time...
What? At the same time, what? Don't you want the person that's doing your mom's surgery that's going to save her life or not? Don't you want that to be one of the most well-read, well-studied,
Yes, that has nothing to do with how much money I should give them.
Yeah, it does, because that's how you get the best people. Isn't it?
I
Don't
get
you
it.
want
I
people
get it.
that are going to be
Incentive-wise,
dedicated enough to read through all those books, to study, to continue to study,
yes, but
continue
give me
honing
somebody
their
who
craft?
actually has a passion for that shit. That's not doing it
Yeah,
for
but
a
how does-
paycheck.
Yeah, but that's...
That to me
that's
is
culture more than government.
And it's not just a
Right.
paycheck, it's status, it's different, it's everything. And so, like, yeah.
But school
so
should cost that
I
as
wanna
much
make
as
a
it
point.
does.
I agree.
Huh? Yeah,
Yeah,
but,
'cause they overcharge
you know
them
one of the
textbooks.
reasons that school costs are increasing more than ever? Or
No,
have
I know
increased in the
nothing
last
about
20 years? It's because the government got involved.
Because government said we're gonna pay for free education.
Government-
Yeah, you're gonna cover
yeah,
my
you know-
education
you know-
that I don't think I need. I'm gonna do it anyways because it's free. Boom. Oh, look how much money it costs everybody.
Because
Yeah, but now at least people are educated.
Are they?
Educated.
Are they, or are they just
No,
take
but you,
a
like you
bunch
said,
of-
the cost of colleges is ballooned. Because they know that everyone's going to get at least about $8,000 from financial aid. So they can charge a little bit more. Every year they can charge a little bit more because people can afford it a little bit more.
It's not the standard.
It
Everybody goes
just
to school,
keeps
I have to go
going
to
up.
school
There's
too.
no, if you inject money into a system, the costs are going to go up. If you start paying for everyone's healthcare, the costs are going to go up. It's just the way capitalism works. It's the
Supply and
way our
demand.
system works.
Like there's
That's
a
why we need a
nature
new
to
system.
it. No, that's a natural phenomenon. That's not something that we didn't create. Like economics and supply and demand. Those things.
Yeah,
they're
those already
natural.
exist. Yeah.
Yeah, in their own ways.
And you can
Then what
always,
we're doing
like,
is
if
we're
you-
fucking with it.
If you break your arm and you don't have health insurance, you can go to the emergency room and they treat you. They have to treat you. You can't turn you away.
It's gonna be in debt.
And that's also a big reason as to why they wanted to insure more people, because emergency rooms are the most expensive way to get treated.
I just think it's
But that's
bullshit.
what most people do.
For, like,
most people take their kids to the emergency room when
For
they're
some
when
dumb
they-
shit.
for some dumb shit, which I get it. I don't have a kid. I would probably freak out. But, you know, if you don't take your kid to the doctor for 3 years, or you don't go to the doctor for 8 years, and then suddenly something's wrong and go to the emergency room, you fucked up.
Yeah.
You fucked up, and you're costing all of us money because of it. I want you to be treated, but you fucked up. You took 8 years to go to the doctor? They could have found that shit 4 years ago with a simple scan. Boom. Oh, look. Look at that. I'm fixed up.
Yeah, you don't want to be responsible for everybody's dumb decisions.
I don't
It's
wanna
a
pay
lot.
for taxes.
And that shit compounds because it's
I wanna
everybody's
go to the-
dumbness.
I want to go and
I
do
think
a
most people are
whole
incompetent
check
to
on
begin
myself. I want to do a physical. I want to do a blood test. I got to do that shit.
I gotta do it too.
Let's get healthy, guys.
I haven't gotten a physical in like 8 years. I'm the one talking shit over here.
Guys want to go for
Haven't-
a run?
yeah, haven't
Guys wanna
done
go for a
that in
run,
4 years.
eat some carrots and some kale.
Yeah. Ginger.
Do some positive affirmations in the mirror.
Yeah, your chest.
Say it with your chest.
It's a nice shirt.
Thanks. I wore the tie. Went perfect with it. Was killing it
You
today.
see? Do it.
Well, I think that's a nice note to leave it on.
I agree.
Make sure you guys are taking care of yourselves.
Ad-free podcast.
Yeah. Watch out for that. Those machines that are gonna try to go into your brain
The Titans.
and make you different people. That's why you need health insurance, so you don't need it. Unseen Cove, MediaFeminine@gmail if you want solar, Berry Goose, Bedford, sound massage. Get it.
Do it.
Yeah, it's on your phone actually. You have it already.
It's already on there. Spotify,
Apple
iTunes,
Music,
you already
Spotify,
downloaded. Just
all of that.
type in
Whatever
Fredolo.
streaming platform title is on there.
Just listen to it.
FREDDOLO.
Yep.
Bedford, Sonic Massage.
Charlie Mayo.
Thank you guys so much for joining in. Tune in for the next one. Love you guys. Peace.
I'm gonna call my boo.
How was your day?
Welcome home.
It's good. It's good to have a day again, you know?
What were you arguing? You want to share?
I was arguing. What?
Yeah, you were yelling at somebody now. You were having a discussion with somebody.
No, I was yelling. I was talking to my mom and I was yelling about Caroline. it.